Welcome everyone, Christine here with an update on the infinite money bug that currently exists in patch 4.0 for the Shadows of Change DLC. For anyone wondering, yes, I have given this feedback to Creative Assembly. In fact, I did it before I even uploaded the video. Whether or not they'd respond and implement the fix before the DLC goes live, that's a different discussion. So what is currently happening? Well, in patch 4.0 for Grand Cathay, they have changed the whooshing compass, specifically the Warpstone Desert. So this gives you a 20% sale of cargo, maximum cargo capacity, and a Lord Recruit rank +1 for Caravan Masters. Now, here's the problem. This stacks. So this is turn 64. I have a caravan here. He's level 39. That is capable of getting me almost 400,000 gold over there. And the caravan masters that I can recruit are level 49. And this is important for the fact that you can obviously get every skill. Now, it's not instant buff. It does take a very, very long time. But here's the crucial thing about this. You can get the wheel right. So not only can you get these... not only can you get these caravans with a lot of gold, but because you can unlock events, like generally with caravans, you would obviously want to get cargo capacity, inspiring presence, all that. You don't really have the time for wheelwright or other things until much, much later. But being able to recruit the caravan lord with all of these things unlocked means that they have a significant amount of potential. They'll get not only generate a lot of money, but they'll get there faster. Like you can see how much money I have here. I'm only generating 60,000. That's a pretty good amount actually at this point in the campaign. But yeah, the vast majority of this money is because of the caravan. So by the way, this caravan I launched like 2 turns ago. I already gotten the event. Now, let's talk about the specifics of how this works. So, and what I've noticed, because this entire campaign, I did it just to test. This is why it's in Realms of Chaos, because the end turn time is much faster. If I deselect, if I go to the caravan event right here and select the Great Bastion as an event, then you can see that the money will drop, the Lord Recruit rank when I'm recruiting them will drop. Though not completely, I think it's still bugged. Like it's a weird glitch because it's not leveling, it's not increasing every level. It increases the vast majority of levels, but not all of them, and it's not removing all of the levels either from these caravan masters. But at least it is removing the caravan capacity and value of sale, because like he still has those 11,000 cargo, so that's why he's selling for 240,000. And I do have plenty of modifiers to increase sale value, and I think not all of it has gone away, but clearly changing this has reduced it by a fairly significant amount just instantly, and it might reduce it even further if I end multiple turns. In fact, I think I will do just that. Now, I have a theory as to what's going on here behind the scenes, if you will. And it has to do with how the compass works and how it was scripted by Creative Assembly, ignoring that aspect, by the way. Yes, I did win, quote-unquote, there. By ignoring everything that's going on there. Here's how the compass system works. The compass has a bar. That bar, when you select the compass in a particular path, will start increasing. When you switch the compass to another selection, it will start decreasing. So over here you can see that already it is decreased significantly. And keep in mind that I had, so basically the effect has been removed. Like it got like half of it or so, or very close to half of it was removed instantly when I switched the compass. the rest of it was removed the turn after. And keep in mind, I had the entire campaign with the Warpstone Desert to build up over there. Now, so what this means to me, what I've figured out over here is that although it isn't saying it over here on the left, what I think is really happening here is there's an invisible bar and an activate ability. Well, the Warpstone Desert is an activated ability, but what's really going on is there's an invisible bar that is slowly filling up over here, and it never really stops. Like, that's the bug. Like, it never stops filling up. It just keeps going and going and going and going. So it's a bug. It's a glitch. It's an oversight by Creative Assembly. Like, the effect never stops going up, and when you move the compass to something else, the effect immediately disappears. Now, I'm not gonna do 8 more turns just to test if, like, reactivates, or you know what, let's go for it. Okay, now with regards to what happens, let's find out what happens when I do enable this again. I do need to mention that there is a nasty side effect of using this right now, because it's not just like, oh, it's a buff and it works and it's brilliant. No, there is a problem as well. It seems that, keep in mind, this guy is fully leveled up, but it seems that it creates bugs with regards to the amount of cargo you can send out, because I should be able to send out a heck of a lot more cargo over here in the campaign. So it's also going to reduce the value of your cargo, or it's gonna hurt you as well. So it's not just a plus, it also feels like there's a minus, like in some respects, or it messes with the values of your characters in some way, shape, or form. Though the recruitment rank at least seems to work out just fine. But what happens if I enable the Warpstone Desert again? Well, it goes up. And so what this means is you don't need to constantly have it active. The value, while the value will be lost temporarily, it will recover. But the question I have is, like, how fast will it recover? Because we saw how quickly it dropped in one particular turn. The real question is, like, is it going to recover very slowly, or is it going to recover pretty much instantly after one turn? Ignore that for a moment.
My functionary.
So we'll find out. Yes, we are fighting a multi-front war over here. Okay. And the Kurgan are still annoying. So, looking at the caravan situation, it did go back up. So, it will, when you stop it instantly, it will significantly affect the value, but not completely. It will take the clicking the enter button to completely drop the value. When you enable it again, it will take clicking the enter button, doing that to get back to the value you were. Now, here's my problem with this, beyond the buggy nature of it. It makes a campaign miserable, because it means you're basically playing an entire campaign without casualty replenishment. I guess you could alternate between the two of them if you so desire. Maybe that is even the intent behind this particular decision for Creative Assembly. But if that was the intent, why doesn't it have a meter? So it's clearly a bug. It has to be a bug. If Creative Assembly thinks this is reasonable, 200,000, 300,000, remember, you can get, if you're looking at these caravans, don't consider the duration as much as you might think, because you can get a bunch of events with high-level caravans that will skip through it. Obviously, there's a risk, and especially at this particular turn, with all the enemies I have, but 12,000 cargo, going into 400,000, 300,000, I could push 1 million Like, I would have pushed 1,000,000. And it says, oh, it takes 9 turns. But in reality, it wouldn't take 9 turns because it is likely I would get a shortcut event or a couple of shortcut events. So the way to view it, even if it takes 9 turns, it's basically 30,000 income per turn at this point. And it's only going to go higher and higher and higher to the point it's over 100,000 or maybe 200,000 per turn because it keeps stacking. I am not fond of it. Basically, if Creative Assembly doesn't fix a build for launch, there's no reason to ever use the Celestial Lake, ever. Because this is a significantly higher income benefit than Celestial Lake. Alternate between the Great Bastion and the Warpstone Desert and forget everything else. Now, some things people asked. What happens if you're playing on bow and you lose a settlement that has unlocked... that has already unlocked the event here? You don't lose the compass event, so that doesn't change. What about AI? Can the AI use this? Maybe, though I haven't seen it happen. And the reason you probably won't see the AI use it too much is because ultimately you do have to spend money to send it. The AI can carry a lot of money, but I don't think I've ever seen an AI faction like have more than 100,000. So in a very long campaign, if no one threatens Cathay for the entirety of it, they can potentially benefit from it. But Cathay and AI, even if they can use the compass, and I'm not entirely certain they can or how that works for them. But even if they're using the compass, they're not going to be using constantly. So this only works. This is only worth it if you're using it for a very, very long time. Keep in mind, I've been going for like 70 turns over here, keeping it on constantly, and only then do you get to those ridiculous amounts. So even if the AI can benefit from it, and obviously the AI could, I don't think it's a problem. Like if you ignore Cathay for 70 turns and they win the war, like in a very long campaign of hundreds of turns, sure, potentially, if the AI has money. Keep in mind that AI doesn't necessarily have a lot of money. The AI has a bunch of cheats, upkeep cheats, reduction cost cheats, background income, all that. But it's not really, the AI is not really generating a huge amount of money. That's not how the AI works in the game. Rather, the way the AI works is that the AI is just like using a lot of the reduction costs to compete with you. That's what you got to remember about it. So I wouldn't be too concerned about what the AI could do with this. I think it's very broken for the player. And honestly, knowing this is in the game, makes me not really want to go back to my Yon Bow campaign. Because I do have quite a few campaigns that I've been playing. This is my 6th campaign of Cathay since the DLC has come in, because it seems like Cathay, like, yeah, the Changeling is fun, but I've done 2 of those. I've done 6 campaigns as Cathay because obviously they've gotten quite a few changes and I wanted to test those out, as well as bugs. That's all I had to say. Costin signing out. This needs to be fixed. Creative Assembly. Gonna leave that there. Stay tuned for more.